Hi everyone, my name is Winnie Jean-Pierre and welcome to Lawyers Have Souls Too. This episode is going to be a real one. We are going to talk about the lessons I learned my first year as a business owner. These are lessons that typically people don't tell you about. They talk about the freedom. They say, go for it. Go open your business. People typically don't tell you about what it takes. The disappointment, the blood, sweat, and tears. They make it seem like it's this luxurious lifestyle. You work for yourself, you make your own schedule, you make all this money. Well, we all know that's not true, right? You are not failing. You are becoming. Hi everyone, my name is Winnie Jean-Pierre and welcome to Lawyers Have Souls Too. This episode is going to be a real one. We are going to talk about the lessons I learned my first year as a business owner. These are lessons that typically people don't tell you about for whatever reason. If you're building something on your own or thinking about it, this episode is for you. This is called the 12 lessons I learned my first year as a business owner. So let's get into it. Let's start with, no one really prepares you for what your first year in business is going to be like. They talk about the freedom. They say, go for it. Go open your business. Open the law firm. Open the restaurant. But people typically don't tell you about what it takes. And quite frankly, if they do, I think sometimes they kind of sugarcoat it. They talk about flexibility, being your own boss. Stop working a 9 to 5, they say. Go out there and, be your own boss. And yes, that is great. That's amazing. But what they don't talk about enough is the discernment that you have to develop, how fast you have to grow, whether you're going to be ready or not, the disappointment, the blood, sweat, and tears. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of business owners are being more authentic on social media, but you also have some people that are not being quite honest. They make it seem like it's this luxurious lifestyle. You work for yourself, you make your own schedule, you make all this money, you don't have to answer to nobody, etc., etc. Well, we all know that's not true, right? So for me, I'm going to start with the lessons that I learned and continue to learn. If you own a business and you're watching this, please share the lessons that you've learned throughout your, the process. And I'm particularly interested in things that surprise you, right? So for me, I am going to share 12 lessons. It's more than 12. I have a lot, but I picked the 12 most important ones. And also there's 12 months in the year. We are at the end of the year. I want to share these lessons with you so you can start 2026, in a better place. And also I hope that my lessons serves you and that you don't make, I call them lesson, not mistakes, of course, and that you do better, if you are in the same space as me. So we're going to start with lesson number 1. Cheap clients are the most expensive client you'll ever have. So I am an attorney, as you know. I work in the community, specifically in the Haitian community, and I work in immigration. So that's a very tough field to be in, especially now. And, people have, life is lifing, there's a lot going on with them. Some of them are not working. Some of them don't have the support. A lot of those immigrants come here, with the clothes on their back. And it's tough. So in every business, whether you're an attorney, you're a doctor, you do nails or whatever, you are going to encounter clients who just don't want to pay. So when we talk about cheap clients, we're talking about the client that will come to you and would literally lowball your price. You ask them for $5,000 and they tell you that they will give you $500. And typically what happens is that, these clients are trying to bargain with you. I don't even want to call it a bargain because, hey, some people are just cheap. They just don't want to pay for your services. So what I learn about these type of clients is that they demand the most. The clients who don't want to pay you, they ask more questions. They cross boundaries. They don't respect your time. Clearly, they don't appreciate your expertise, and they are never happy, you know? And the worst part is they leave you emotionally exhausted. I cannot tell you how many times I've been down that road where a client will come to me, they will tell me that they don't have the money, they cannot pay this and that and the third, and I give in, right? I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it for this price. And every single time I regret it because I always end up working 10 times harder. I have to answer questions. I get calls all the time. They are complaining all the time. It's like they're never happy. It doesn't matter what you do, they are never happy. So lesson number one is that cheap clients are the most expensive ones. So if you can avoid them, avoid them. People pay for what they value. And as an attorney, people pay me for my expertise. And if they are not willing to pay for that, then maybe it's not worth it. Okay. Lesson number two, just same concept. If a client fight with you over your price, they will also fight with you over your expertise. I kind of mentioned that in lesson number one is that the negotiation doesn't stop with the fee. It shows up in email, expectation, timeline. It's like there's this resistance with them, right? They just want what they want. So again, the clients that really tell me, well, can you do it for 500? And I decided to do it, there's always something else. Like I'm always fighting until the very end. So again, it's not worth it. Lesson number three, your intuition is not emotional, it's experience. Whenever I don't trust my intuition, whether it's in a relationship, friendship, business, things always go wrong. Because that gut feeling that you have that tells you, do not take this client, do not sign this person up, do not work with this person, you should listen to it. Every time I ignore a gut feeling because I wanted to be nice, I regretted it later. Okay? You have, especially women, we have intuition for reasons, right? So listen to your intuition. If that gut feeling is telling you, hey, don't take this client, then don't. Your instincts are built from everything you've seen, you've heard, and survived. Trust them. You have them for a reason. I think I was watching something where someone said, you know, as Christian, we always pray, God, please, I don't want this, I don't want that, and so on and so forth. And God is speaking through us, through our intuition. And guess what happened? We don't listen to the intuition. We are just waiting to hear from God. Like we want God to come from up above and come down and say, hey, don't do this, when we have this intuition. And for me specifically, sometimes it's super strong. Sometimes it is super strong. And again, I'm talking from experience. I had a particular client that I'm thinking about right now. And the very first encounter, something told me not to sign the client. And I told the client, I was very honest. I said, hey, listen, my intuition is telling me not to take your case. I think that you should go to someone else. And the person insisted, and they kept calling, they kept calling, and they kept calling, they kept calling. And finally, I agreed to take on the case. And I have to tell you, I went through hell with that client, through hell. And the worst part is I came out on the other side with no money. I lost a lot of sleep. I was stressed out. I was sick. Like it was just a lot. And all I had to do all I had to do was to listen to that gut feeling that told me like this is not going to work. Um Again, we're gonna move on to lesson number 4. Not every case or client is your assignment. And I'm learning to be better at that. Sometimes people come to me and I tell them like, hey, we are not a good fit. I'm not the right attorney for you. Well, Miss Winnie, I really want you to represent me. I get that, but I'm not the one. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to let a client know, like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be the best person for you. I don't think we are going to be able to work together because, I won't be able to serve you the way you want to be served. And, and pray and hope that they understand and respect that, you know so just let the client know. Let the client know like, hey, I'm not able to support you that way. Please go find someone else. When you are being selective about the type of cases, the type of people you work with, it's not because you think you're better than somebody. It's not because you're being arrogant. It's it's about stewardship. It's about you do your best work when you work within alignment. I will go above and beyond for a client that I trust, that I want to work with. But if I am forced to work with somebody, I'm not going to be able to give you 100%. And that's not the type of person that I am. I want to be able to give you 100%. I want to be able to show up for you and fight for you the way you would want me to do. Okay. So we are going to move on to lesson number 5. Lesson number 5 is that boundaries are not optional in a business. They are like a skills. I am still working on that. I'm still working on setting boundaries for my client. I, especially as an immigration attorney, I want to be available and accessible to my client because they can be detained, something bad can happen. However, I have to set those boundaries because when you don't set boundaries, things go crazy. People just do whatever they want to do. So, clear expectation, clear policies. Hey, you cannot call me after 7 p.m. You cannot call me before 7 a.m. Okay? Unless there's an emergency. Whatever your policy is, make it clear. If you have a business where people have to set up appointment with you and a lot of time they don't show up, set those boundaries. Like, hey, if you set up an appointment, you have 24 hours to cancel. If you don't, there is a fee. Please, if you are watching this and you are not an attorney, do not run your business without having contracts. You need to put everything on paper because that's where you set your boundaries. You write it down. Hey, I'm expecting you to do X, Y, and Z, and I am going to do this in return. So if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. Okay? And if you don't enforce it, people will test it. Meaning that if I tell people not to call me after 7 p.m., but every time they call me after 7 p.m., I answer the phone, then the problem. Because I'm the problem because I'm not enforcing anything. I'm telling them one thing, but I'm doing something else. Lesson number 7. Free advice create entitlement, not loyalty. This is huge for me because I love to educate my community. I love to tell them what's going on. I love to share my knowledge. So I give a lot of free advice. And I realize that some people feel entitled. They think that I owe it to them. I even have some people call my office and they say, well, why are you charging for a consultation? You're supposed to give us free advice. The more you give away for free, the less people respect the value of what you're giving. Okay? Your knowledge took you years to build. you need to charge accordingly. Now, going into 2026, I'm still going to give free advice, but I am going to put a limit to it because, again, I'm in this space right now where people are just expecting everything for free. And I can't run a business like that. You can't run a business like that, right? So just make sure that you have a balance. You still, let's say if you have a business where you're giving away free samples, where you're giving away free services, whatever it is, there needs to be something in place where you're like, hey, I can do this. However, this is where it stops. Okay. I'm giving you the basic information. If you need more information, you need to pay for a consultation. You need to pay for whatever. Okay. Lesson number 8. Your pricing tell people how to treat you. That's a big one for me. Your pricing tells people how to treat you. Boy, oh boy. Now, as a new attorney, when I opened my law firm, it's smart to kind of look around to see what people are charging for services. I guess I wasn't confident enough in my ability and my expertise to charge what I know I'm supposed to charge. So I was charging on the lower end. And what I learned is that when somebody comes to me and I tell them like, hey, I'm charging 50% more than this other attorney. So they're like, well, you must not know what you're doing. If he's charging $50, you're charging $25. That means he's way smarter than you. He knows more than you. He's better than you, which means I'm not going to get the best services from you. Now, a lot of people will take it because why not? They get to save money, but they will treat you differently. Okay. So when you lower your price for whatever reason, for me, I did it because I felt bad. I wanted to, be this person who really, I wanted to be liked. I wanted people to like me and to think that, I'm on their side. I want to help them. I want to support them, etc. When in reality, it wasn't that way. At least they did not perceive it that way. It shows that when a client comes to me and I was charging them way less, I realized that it signals that I had low confidence. I had less experience and I had low standards. Underpricing doesn't make you accessible, it makes you vulnerable. Let me repeat that. Underpricing doesn't make you accessible, it makes you vulnerable. It makes you vulnerable to a lot of things. Let's go back to the cheap client for lesson number 1. When somebody comes to you, they are going to pay you way, way less. Like I said, it's going to take a lot more work. It's going to create a lot of issues for you, and it makes you vulnerable. It's going to affect you in ways that you cannot explain, and honestly, it's going to hurt you more than you anticipate, more than you would want to. So you need to charge accordingly. I am by nature a very kind, a very generous, a very thoughtful person. And sometimes you can still be who you are, but still understand that you are running a business. You are running a business. So if you are running a business, you need to put your personal feelings aside and run the business. Yes, you want to have integrity. Yes, you want to be good to people. Yes, you want to work with people. Yes, you want to be understanding, but you still have to treat the business as a business because the business requires certain things. You got to pay bills. You have to pay employees. You have to do marketing. You have to pay yourself. So therefore, you have to charge accordingly. Now, as attorneys or specifically, you don't want to overcharge people. You don't want to take advantage of people. That's the idea of this podcast, is to show that we are good people and that we have good intention. So I'm not advising that you overcharge for your services. I am advising that you charge accordingly. You need to take everything into consideration when you are pricing your product, your services. So we are moving to lesson number 9. Number 9 is a huge one. So lesson number 9 is time is your most valuable asset. Lesson number 9 is time is your most valuable asset. Quite frankly, this should have been lesson number 1, but I wrote these down. I didn't do it in order. I just wrote down like the lesson. So lesson number 9, time is your most valuable asset. You can earn more money. You can rebuild a business, but you would never get your time back. The time you spent with the wrong client, having the wrong conversation or the wrong commitment, you cannot get that back. So please understand that time is your most valuable asset. Time is the only thing that does not come back. So I am going to spend about 30 to 45 minutes recording this podcast, sharing these lessons with you. I will never get that back. Now, the good thing is I am actually spending those 30 to 45 minutes doing something that I actually enjoy, something that is fulfilling to me, something that matters to me. But let's say if I spend those 45 minutes gossiping or talking about somebody, that's time wasted. That's 45 minutes I could have spent with my daughter, with my mom, with my friends, watching a show, doing something that I love, even, use that time to learn a new skill. So your time is your most valuable asset. Protect your time. Protect your time. Protect your time. Understand that there's no such thing as you have time, because you don't. You do not. We all get the same 24 hours in a day, but unfortunately, a lot of us don't use it the same way, where some people really, really use it the way they should, and where some of us don't. So lesson number 10, being professional doesn't mean being passive. I have so many stories. If any of you follow me on social media and you speak Creole, because I speak a lot of Haitian Creole on social media because I'm Haitian, and my supporters, like the majority of my supporters and my followers, are Haitian, so I communicate a lot in Haitian Creole. If you do follow me, I talk about a lot about being professional, or people would come at me about not being professional because of something I say or something I did. And I don't think a lot of people understand what being professional means. For me, in the beginning of my career as an attorney, I thought being professional was, not talking back, not fighting back, being super respectful, let people say whatever they want. But now I realize that being professional doesn't mean you have to be passive. I don't have to let a client talk to me any kind of way. I don't have to let a client disrespect me. I don't have to let a colleague disrespect me, or whoever, right? Being professional means that you can hold boundaries. You can set your boundaries. You can stand up for yourself without being aggressive, raising your voice. You can still be calm and firm at the same time. You can call somebody out in the most professional way. If someone disrespects you, you can call them out and still be a professional. You don't have to go to their level, but you can still do it. You can say no without apologizing. That's a big one. That's a huge one, as a matter of fact. You can say no and not have to apologize. And, being calm and firm at the same time, that's power. That is power, especially when the person puts you in a position where they want that reaction out of you. They want you to be upset. Heck, the reason why they say what they say is because they want to push that little button. They want to push it. So for you is that you have to make sure that you still speak up. You still say what needs to be said. And yeah, you still speak up and say what you need to say and still, make sure that you stay professional. I've seen so many instances, it has not happened to me yet, where I would be in court and the judge would be rude or disrespectful towards another attorney. And I love seeing that, where the attorney would still be professional and very respectful, but still let the judge know, like, hey, that was rude. I mean, they don't say it like that, but still. And for me, that's very powerful. Lesson number 11. I'm laughing because this one is a personal one. This one is a personal one. Lesson number 11 is that everyone isn't rooting for you, and that's okay. I'm going to give you an example. So I have this podcast, and I don't know how many of you subscribe. If you haven't, please do so. But I know for a fact, most of my friends have not done so. Most of my friends don't watch this. Now, the question is, does it hurt? Yeah, because I'm the friend that supports anything. If I'm friends with you, you selling mangoes, I'm going to support that. If you are an attorney, I'm going to support your business. If you're a dentist, I'm going to support your business. But I realize that everybody's different. I have some friends that I know that they love me, they care about me, they just don't support. Again, it hurts, but I learned to be okay with that. I have to be okay with that because it is what it is. I can't force somebody to support me. And maybe this is not their thing. There could be many reasons. I mean, hopefully it's not a bad reason that they are not here supporting, that they don't watch, that they don't share. But I really try not to take it personal. I really try not to take it personal because I have to really put my energy towards the people who are supporting. I think a lot of time we spend so much time, oh my gosh, this person is not supporting, that person is not supporting, that we neglect those who are supporting. I was at a conference last night and someone came up to me and the person was like, oh my gosh, I love your podcast. I watch it. And she's not an attorney. She doesn't live in the state of Florida. She doesn't even know me. So for her, I should just keep doing what I'm doing. Because 99% of the time, the friends and the family, they come after. Again, it doesn't make sense for someone like me, but that's the reality. On the other hand, sometimes, people don't support you because whatever you do scare them. Growth exposes motive. When you're growing, it really exposes the people around you or some people around you, right? And when you are distant from people, it shows, or when people become distant from you, when you start growing your business, it shows that they're not aligned with what you're doing. Like I said, maybe some of the friends or family who don't watch the podcast, maybe they're not aligned. Maybe it's not their thing. Maybe they think I'm doing something stupid. Maybe whatever. So my goal is to focus on the people who align, the people who see the vision, who appreciate what I'm doing. But I can't focus on those who don't support. And, sometimes you also have another category of people who pretend that they are supporting you, but they really just want your secret sauce, or they really want to stay close to you because they are trying to figure out how to destroy you, how to bring you down, or they just keep you close just because, you're the competition. They just want to keep you close so they can give you bad advice so you can go a different direction. But if you are waiting for your friend to support you, your family to support you, then it's a problem, because you have to be okay with people not supporting you. You just have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that. And you just have to keep pushing, because your people, they will come to you. They will find you. They will find you. I promise you. Okay. So for those who are not rooting for you, it's okay. Let them watch. Let them be. Okay. Lesson number 12. Lesson number 12 should be lesson number 2. It should come after, time is your most valuable asset, but I just have it as the last one. Having a business force you to grow faster. Having a business is like having a kid. You see how like people's like, that's my baby when they have their business? Having a business is like having a baby. It forces you to grow up. It forces you to grow up. Like, you don't just build a brand. You build resilience. You build confidence that you didn't know you needed. Discernment, thick skin. I mean, everything. Everything. I was somebody who didn't know how to set boundaries because I always wanted to be nice. I didn't want to be rude. Now I have to, because why? My business is suffering. And I put so much time and energy and resources into it, then I must fight. I must push back. Now, if you are watching this and this is your first year in business, and you struggling, you questioning, you learning the hard way, you are not failing. You are becoming. You are becoming this business owner that you're supposed to be. You are becoming the person that is going to take your business to the next level. You are becoming the next and best version of yourself. So these are the 12 lessons that I learned my first year in business. I am still learning. I am still struggling in some areas, but every day I make an effort to do better. I remind myself why I started this business. I remind myself why it's important that I do this. And what I want you all to remember is, if you are an empath like me, if you are a kind person, you have a kind, so you really want to do good in the world, I want you to know that you have to be the best version of yourself to be able to give the best of you. So if you are wasting time on client who refuse to pay, on people who are not supporting you, so on and so forth, then you are not going to have that positive energy, that positive, outlook. You're not going to have that strength to help support the people that you want to support. Okay. Remember, if you are not doing okay, you can't give your time. If you're not okay physically, mentally, you just can't. You can't be the best attorney that you want to be. You can't be that doctor you have to be. You just can't. So if this episode spoke with you, share it with somebody who owns a business, who needs permission to raise their standard. Sometimes people just need somebody to tell them, go for it, right? If you in your first year of business, or even year 10, year 20, remember, growth is uncomfortable, but it's not a sign that you're doing anything wrong. Okay? Subscribe, leave a review for me, come back. Again, if this episode made you uncomfortable, that's a good thing. Okay? Stop explaining your worth to people. Stop discounting your expertise. Stop saying yes to what's draining you. This is Lawyers Have Souls too, and your standards are allowed to evolve. Okay? Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great holiday season. I hope you have an amazing new year. I hope 2026 bring you prosperity, health, wealth, and I hope your business grow. And I hope you take these lessons into consideration when you are preparing for your year 2026. Thank you for supporting me this year. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. I love you all, and I see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.